What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're back again for our NXT review for July 11th, 2018. NXT just went off the air with another stellar show. NXT, of course, always delivers, whereas Raw and SmackDown continue to fail. Tonight we saw the Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. We also we were supposed to have an interview or a segment with Alister Black out in the ring. Well, Tommaso Ciampa decided to make his presence known and make sure that didn't happen. We also had Kairi Sane versus Vanessa Bourne, and Adam Cole versus Danny Burch. All three matches were pretty great. Kairi Sane showing off a new submission I have not seen her do before called the Anchor. We'll get into that too. And Tyler Bate and Trent Seven took on Undisputed Era for the tag team titles in a gutsy effort by Trent Seven to not lose the tag team titles, but Tyler Bate being given no choice but to either watch his mentor, his tag team partner, lose his leg for the rest of his life, or to save the guy's career. We'll talk about that later. First, we had Adam Cole versus Danny Burch. Adam Cole and Danny Burch beat the hell out of each other. Danny Burch ended up losing this match. Adam Cole, of course, taunting the entire time. But Adam Cole won this with the last shot after a very hard-fought match. These two put on a heck of a show. This show this week was very good. I don't remember the last time NXT put on a bad show, or NXT tapings, or NXT TakeOver, which we were getting closer and closer to. So, yes, Danny Burch got a good... He actually hit the London Tower, I think is what it's called. I guess it's his finisher, which is like you drape Adam Cole. He has like a kill switch off of the top rope, draping Adam Cole off of the top rope. He did that, only got a 2 count. Oshigoroshi, or whatever they call that thing, by Adam Cole for a 2 count. He ends up having to super kick him and then hitting him with a knee pad exposed last shot for the 3 count. Then we get Candice LeRae and Shayna Baszler. This was interesting. We saw they had Candice LeRae in outside Full Sail talking to, they were asking a question what she thought of Shayna Baszler's words from last week. Before she can really say anything, she runs into Shayna Baszler, says, "I heard what you said about me last week." Shayna Baszler's like, "You're cute. Maybe you should stick to being just a sidekick." That did not make Candice LeRae happy, who ends up slapping the taste out of Shayna Baszler's mouth. Shayna Baszler shoves her, and these two come to blows. This was and ended up becoming a pull-apart brawl done right. We just saw that train wreck of a pull-apart brawl on Monday Night Raw, and I hate pull-apart brawls because, and especially on Raw and SmackDown when they happen, they brawl for 2 seconds, you send out the entire locker room, you pull everybody apart, one gets away, ends up going after the other one again, then they pull them apart again, the other one gets away, and they keep brawling for about 10-15 minutes, and it's just trash. This was a pull-apart brawl done right. You let them beat the fuck out of each other for about a few minutes. You have people come in, you pull them apart, and that's it. You just have them pulled apart. They start talking trash back to each other. You had Sarah Del Rey was one of the ones holding back Shayna Baszler. You had 2 people holding back Candice LeRae. You had 4 or 5 people holding back Shayna Baszler, and that was the end of the segment. Will we see any more of this coming up with what was named after later on was that next week we will have a fatal 4-way for the #1 contendership to the NXT Women's Championship, and I say that will probably take place at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn between Kairi Sane, Candice LeRae, Nikki Cross, which will probably be her last match in NXT, and Bianca Belair. So that is going to be next week's show, probably the main event, which will be great to see. And I can honestly see us having the Pirate Princess, who is in a match tonight, win that match. But Candice LeRae showing her gusto, or fact that she's got some lady balls or something, going up and just slapping Shayna Baszler of all people across the face and not backing down. Good on her. That was awesome to see. Dakota Kai with Kathy Kelly asked about Baszler's, what she said last week. Kai says She's going to be seeing me again really soon, and I will get another shot because I'm working my way back up in the ranks of the women's division. When Lacey Evans comes in and says, no one cares. Let's be honest, if your dirty paws touched that NXT title, you would bring it down. What this division needs is a woman with sophistication and class. And you don't have those traits. Kai challenges Evans to match next week, which they did not confirm unless William Regal said something on Twitter, which he tends to do nowadays. But they did not confirm it for next week. I expect it to be next week still. But Dakota Kai versus Lacey Evans next week, which, again, WWE, again, 2 segments in a row showing NXT showing the main roster how to do things right. You don't have to have you don't have to focus your women's division on 2 women. With Raw and SmackDown, you have Nia Jax you have Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey, and Alexa Bliss all focused on the women's championship, and everyone else can go to fucking hell. SmackDown, you have Asuka and Carmella, and everyone else can go to fucking hell. This, you have Shayna Baszler waiting for her next opponent. You had Vanessa Bourne have a problem with Kairi Sane. What do? They settled it in the ring. Lacey Evans and Dakota Kai seem to have a problem. They're going to settle in the ring probably coming soon. And then you have next week's tag Fatal 4-Way. So everyone in NXT's women's division starts to feel more important because they're not just waiting for their turn to have a chance at the women's championship. With Raw, it's like Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax bicker over who should be women's champion, while you have Bayley and Sasha Banks talking to counselors, which, again, I will say it again, counseling is a scam. Plain and simple. They do not do shit for you. And how many people can tell you that counseling, like going to counseling, because I had someone tell me with everything I'm going through, I should go see a counselor. I'm like, yeah, right. No. Counseling does not do nothing. People end up going there, and eventually it's just like, oh, well, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I'm just going to tell them what they want to hear so I can get out of here. That's all counseling does. I probably talking about my ass because I haven't been in counseling probably in years, if ever. But, yeah. Yet you have women on SmackDown not doing anything except for Asuka and Carmella. What are they doing? Fighting over the Women's Championship while everyone else on SmackDown does nothing. Where are all the feuds in the wrestling business in WWE? You don't have to have just feuds for the women, even the men and the tag teams. You don't just have to have feuds over the championship. You should be fighting over who wants to be the best. For the women, you have Lacey Evans going around putting up a list of women she wants to take out because they don't have any class. They don't have the sophistication that she does. And all these other women are like, you want to say that about me, so I'm going to come out and kick your face off or knock the class off your face. Bianca Belair, on her honeymoon, sent a video from her honeymoon saying, all these women can bicker and fight all they want, but I'm going to be the best woman in NXT in the coming months, years, or whatever. Why don't we get that on Monday on SmackDown Live? Why am I sitting here like, again, for 2 segments in a row, the women showing how it should be done on WWE television. Now, I would love the fact that they had the interaction between Shayna Baszler and Candice LeRae lead to a match before NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. Not a women's championship match, but a grudge match. But I don't know if it's going to happen, but I can honestly see with this Fatal 4-Way happening next week. Maybe Shayna Baszler comes out and screws over Candice LeRae. We'll have to wait and see. That is going to be next week. Speaking of the women, the Vanessa Bourne versus Dakota Kai it was a pretty decent match. Dakota Kai showed off a new submission I've never seen her do, which is like, it was a surfboard stretch of sorts, but instead of just bringing both legs back, she crossed the legs, pulled them back, and then did a handstand bridge over her back. That really puts pressure on the woman, on the person's like small back, towards the end of the tailbone. So Vanessa Bourne had no choice but to tap out. She cut a promo, and Kairi Sane, I honestly will say, is better at a promo than Asuka. Asuka still has a lot more broken English, and it seems like she struggles through her promos. Kairi Sane cut this promo tonight, and she sounded like she's been doing it for years. Kairi had in his mic and says, Shayna Baszler, I know you were strong, but I beat you before. I'm going to do it again. Again. I'm coming for the title, the NXT Women's Championship. Nice little short promo, but Kairi Sane definitely put out there that I'm coming for that title. I've been through everybody else. Now it's me and you. Then they announced the Kairi Sane versus Nikki Cross versus Candice LeRae versus Bianca Belair match. Winner goes on to face Shayna Baszler. They did not say it's at Brooklyn for this number one contendership match, but I do imagine it's going to be for Brooklyn. And then also that's reminded us that 2 weeks Tommaso Ciampa versus Alister Black will be happening. Of course, that is going to be in the next set of tapings because next week is the final portion of these tapings. Alister Black is supposed to be coming he's just arrived, and he's supposed to be coming out to talk about everything that's going to be happening in 2 weeks. Alister Black is shown in the back. He is asked about Ciampa. There's always one who there's always one who thinks he is going to stand out, and then he runs into Johnny Gargano. Gargano says Ciampa cannot become NXT champion. He can't win. Black says, you got to let me handle this. You got to worry about yourself. Gargano says, I know what I'm doing. Alister Black gets into the building and gets ambushed from behind by Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa throws him into some kind of rack of something over here, and then picks him up, lays him on a trainer's table, and then hits him with a DDT onto the marble floor. This thing had to have been it took him out, and they said he went to a local medical facility after this. So they're amping up this for 2 weeks from now. We will know, and if Tommaso Ciampa was to win the championship at this 2 weeks from now taping shot, we would know immediately who would win because WWE would tell you. All social media would tell you who has won it. So we will see what happens. I think that in 2 weeks, Johnny Gargano is going to get involved with this match. I've seen people pitch a type of match for Brooklyn that we saw in 1997 at SummerSlam, with Shawn Michaels had to be the referee, and if he didn't ref the match right, he would have been fired, and if Bret Hart would have lost, he would have been gone back to Canada. In this scenario, it would be Tommaso Ciampa versus Alister Black with Johnny Gargano as the special referee, and if Gargano does not play, if Gargano tries to fuck over Ciampa, he will be fired, and if Tommaso Ciampa loses, whatever. No, I think this will be the one time that warrants a triple threat match. Why would this warrant a triple threat match? How much more devastating would it be for Johnny Gargano to be in a championship match against Alister Black and Tommaso Ciampa? Does the springboard DDT like he did to Alister Black back in December. Hit that DDT, go for the cover, but Tommaso Ciampa comes in, hits him with Project Ciampa or some kind of move, takes him out, just throws him out. 1, 2, 3 before Johnny Gargano can react. He's getting back in the ring, and the 3 count hits. So Johnny Gargano watches Tommaso Ciampa take the NXT Championship away from him. I like that idea better than having Tommaso Ciampa versus Alister Black with Johnny Gargano as special guest referee. I don't like that at all. I think that's stupid. I think it's dumb. It's too predictable. It's not good business at all. That was something they did back in 1997. It made sense for that storyline because Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart really, really hated each other. They actually hated each other at the time. Obviously, you can tell Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano do not hate each other in real life. You can just tell with how these matches have gone. There is no way that WWE would allow 2 guys who can't stand each other as much as Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart did back in the day, to be able to go out and have an unsanctioned match or the street fight, because anything can happen and somebody could possibly get hurt. If you really hate somebody and you don't respect them and you're put in a match like that, you're probably going to there could be shenanigans and somebody could end up getting seriously hurt. These 2 trust each other and will be able to put themselves together to have a great match. and Los Angeles. I could definitely see this being a triple threat match. Alister Black loses by taking the pinfall from Tommaso Ciampa after Johnny Gargano lays him out with something. Probably, like I said, the springboard DDT or something. And Tommaso Ciampa steals the victory because Johnny Gargano took his eyes off of Tommaso Ciampa for just a second to try and win the match. Undisputed Era versus Mustache Mountain. I don't know what the fuck was with the crowd for this match, but the entire match for this crowd, I don't know if WWE had a 8-track tape or some kind of like recording for the crowd to just sit there and chant, "Let's go Undisputed Mustache Mountain." But this entire match was, in my opinion, was sabotaged by the crowd continuously, not even giving a fuck about this match. All they wanted to chant was Undisputed Mustache Mountain. The only time, like, from the start of the bell after Trent Seven's knee was compromised by Roderick Strong towards like the beginning of this match. It was like really early on in this match. Undisputed Era came out with hot fire, attacked Mustache Mountain, but then Mustache Mountain turned that around. Eventually, they got to the outside. Trent Seven had Roderick Strong on the steel steps. He was going to do something, but Kyle O'Reilly distracted him. He got thrown, pushed into the ring post, and then his knee got dropped onto the steel steps, and that was the beginning of the end for Mustache Mountain on this night. But from now on, Undisputed Era is trying everything they can to gain heat, to get the heat for this match. And the entire time, all you hear is Mustache Mountain Undisputed, Mustache Mountain Undisputed. Obviously, you can tell this is one of the next to last episodes of NXT for this set of tapings because the crowd is not as high intense that it usually is. But my word, oh my god, seriously, this crowd was not into this match for the majority of this. Until we got Kyle O'Reilly trying to put some kind of modified knee bar onto Trent Seven, they finally booed for a second, and it was just back to Mustache Mountain Undisputed. The crowd really took any excitement out of this match for the most part. The majority of this match was Trent Seven getting his knee worked on. Tyler Bate did tag in, get a hot tag. They did show the medical staff working on trying to, alleviate some of the pain from Trent Seven while this was happening. It did come down to Trent Seven did get back up, and Tyler Bate was like, "No, I'm not going to tag you in because if I tag you in, then that's going to mess you up." So eventually, Roderick Strong sends Tyler Bate flying into the corner, and he tags in Trent Seven. Trent Seven comes in. He does get a good bit of offense in on these guys. Again, this crowd just took all the excitement out. Usually, when you have a hot tag for the baby faces, that's a problem with Undisputed Era trying to be heels. Is that the crowd is just too much into them, that it compromises this match from being a much better match. It was more, they're sitting there cheering, they're not even cheering or booing, they're just Undisputed Mustache Mountain, Undisputed Mustache Mountain. That was, in my opinion, that hurt this match more than anything. But once Trent Seven tried to do a torture rack, he ended up onto Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong would get down and hit a chop block, put him in a modified lion tamer, a Boston Crab or something, but he gets kicked out of that. And then Kyle O'Reilly tags in, puts him in a modified knee bar, doubled over knee bar, and he refuses to tap out. He's trying to get back to his partner to tag him in while he's in this move, but Kyle O'Reilly pulls him out of the corner, and continues to work on the knee until Tyler Bate can't stand it much more. He has one of the towels in his possession. Trent Seven is begging him not to pull this, don't throw it in, just don't throw it in. He's telling him, you better not. Unfortunately, he's seen enough, and he throws in the towel, and the Undisputed Era are your new two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. They fall in line with the Revival as the only, well, the Revival and Neville as the only two-time NXT Tag Team Champions. And that was NXT, of course. And I noticed something when they got back up on the ramp, the Undisputed Era. They had Adam Cole came out celebrating. Also did Bobby Fish, who looks to be walking on his own. I did not see him having his leg braced or anything. He looked like he is mobile by himself. He looks like he is on his way back. He looks like he's on his road to recovery. So we will probably see Bobby Fish back in no time. And if he's back in time, I don't know when he'll actually be back, but it looks like he's getting back, and we still have many months to go. I would like to see the War Games match be done more traditional next time, in which we have the Undisputed Era versus Team British Strong Style or Team somebody taking on, going in the War Games match. I think it would be a hell of a match. But that was your NXT review for tonight. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, follow me on Twitter at TheFrance, follow me on twitch.tv/TheFrance08. Make sure to follow buttons over there. I will be here tomorrow for our Backlash preview and prediction. It's going to be a little bit later in the day than usual. I usually have those things go up at noon, but it's going to be up about probably later in the day. I'll see what happens. But make sure to hit that everything. We'll be here tomorrow for Extreme Rules, or or less Extreme Rules. Seeing there's only 3 matches with stipulations that really can't. Well, there's only 3 matches that garner extreme to me, which is the cage match, the Extreme Rules match for the women's title on Raw, and the tables match on the pre-show. Then, of course, Saturday we'll be here for Unscripted, which will be just a little bit different than usual. We'll get on that on Saturday. And then Sunday we'll be here for our Extreme Rules. I keep wanting to call it Backlash because it's as useless as Backlash was. Unscripted this week, and then, of course, our Extreme Rules post-show, which, review and result show, which... yay, I'm looking forward to that. But until then, my name is TheFrance. You guys have a good one, and I will see you guys tomorrow.